Hello, this is Heisenberg,
Hey guys, G Forever here.
and Ghidorah is making a movie. Alan Maxson, who played the angry right-head of Ghidorah in the 2019 movie Godzilla King of the Monsters, is preparing to make a science fiction film entitled Alien Planet. Ghidorah's left head, aka Kevin, Richard Dorton, will also appear in the movie. Maxson is currently raising money for the movie on Indiegogo, with many desirable perks available. Let's watch a clip from the spec trailer.
Prejudices must be set aside in order to survive.
Alan Maxson joins us now to talk about Alien Planet and King Ghidorah. And welcome, Alan Maxson.
Woo! Hey guys!
Alan Maxson, what type of film is Alien Planet?
Alien Planet is a sci-fi film in the vein of what I think are my personal favorite science fiction movies. Ones that hold mirrors up to society, and they have moral and social commentary, such as, the best examples are things like Star Trek, Planet of the Apes. Most specifically, Enemy Mine. It was a big influence for the script. And even Godzilla, the initial 54, it was a social commentary on the atom bomb. So it's in the vein of those types of stories where it's science fiction. There's aliens, there's monsters. It's fun, it's blood and gore, but it makes you think. And afterwards, it makes you truly try to dive in and go, this says something about us as humans, even though I'm not watching humans on screen.
No, absolutely. I grew up on watching science fiction like that, and I'm ready for more. So you said that one particular influence is the 1985 film Enemy Mine. So how will Alien Planet be similar to or different from Enemy Mine?
So the similarity is really just the fact that these two aliens have prejudices against each other. There's two of them that end up having to get along in order to survive a giant monster and to get the secret to rejuvenating their planets with water. The simple fact of two species that hate each other being forced to get along is probably the closest similarity. And Enemy Mine is probably the easiest example to say because it's about two aliens, a human and a drac. Whereas really, this isn't just an Enemy Mine similarity. I recall a Planet of the Apes TV series episode just like it. I recall an episode of Deep Space Nine with Quark and Odo exactly like it. And more recently, I saw a Star Wars Rebels episode where Zeb and Agent Kellis, exact similar situations. So I don't want people to think this is an Enemy Mine rehash or wow, he took Enemy Mine and he's just doing a modern version, because it's not. It's that simple story of prejudices being forced to get along is an age-old story that is in countless episodes of TV and movies, and that's kind of the heart of this. Even though the plot and the story and the characters are nothing like Enemy Mine, that little bit that's in the heart of it really comes from a similar place as all those other things that I named.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's going to have practical effects. What do you like about using practical effects?
Practical is in my heart. So I know you guys know me as King Ghidorah, which is motion capture, but I would say 98% of my jobs are practical suits with prosthetics and makeup. And that's where my heart is. I love it. I love motion capture, and I will do it without question because the performance of it is so fun and it's so immersive, and I get to have so much free range with it. But I just have an extra love for practical. When you can look at yourself in the mirror and see what you look like and play with it too. Even when I was auditioning, I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but I had announced a casting for our lead actress. We didn't get to cast her until I think it was 3 or 4 days into the campaign. And so she's not in the spec trailer. So what I ended up doing was I did a makeup test for her callback. And even that, you could see she changed her performance. once she was in the prosthetic. Once she had the teeth and the eyes, the contacts in, she changed for the better. It's almost like she knew physically how she was. And I think that's what's going to make this movie so much cooler, is every actor and actress in it will be aware of how they come off on camera. And I think that's something that just will make it much more enticing to watch. Like when you watch it, you won't be able to look away, because how can you? They're lizard type people and it's awesome looking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Again, I also grew up watching practical effects, and I tend to miss them when I don't see them enough these days.
Yep.
It's interesting. I feel like the last probably 10 years, practical has been slowly coming back. Hands down. And I think it's because people realize there is something special to it. There's heart.
Yep.
There's a reality to it. And it's also the same reason why Mike had us do mocap for King Ghidorah, because you get something special with a natural performance. And specifically with Ghidorah, we had 3 of us tied together and we could interact with each other. And I think, yes, animators can absolutely come up with characterization for CG to do that, but there's something just much more natural, subtle, and genuine about a live performance that happens on the spot. The way that, Jason, the center head, looked at me multiple times, I would react to him because I'm the angry one and he's alpha, but I'm kind of angry because maybe I think I deserve to be the alpha. So what? You're in the middle and a few inches taller. And I think those type of little nuances you just get with real performance, which goes back to practical. You put someone in makeup and you're going to get real natural performances.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, and you mentioned, again, there will be a female lead, and it's the actress is Alexandra Bakova. What can you tell us about her role in the film?
Yeah, so she is stranded on this other planet with the male lead. And they both live on separate planets, and both of their planets are out of water. So they are on Rakachi trying to find the secret to rejuvenating their planets back to life with fresh drinking water. And the 2 of them have to survive together. And there's monsters on this planet, and Brocheet has a pet who you see in the trailer, which is that little puppet character. And she ends up befriending Locke. And so there's a great dynamic of them having to get along, but then now they also both care about this other little creature. And they were both in the same boat. They're just trying to save their planet and civilization. Oh, and she doesn't get off easy either. She gets dragged through the ringer. She will get the crap beat out of her, and she'll be covered in blood by the end of this movie. I can guarantee it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm sure there'll be adversities. I'm wondering if some of the adversities might be monsters that appear, and if there are monsters, will any of them be men in suits? And if there are men in suits, will there be like wrestling involved?
Yes, men in suits, absolutely.
Excellent.
Wrestling is not the right term I would use. There is a particular monster in this movie called the Dweller. And he's a big beast. He is like, the best way to describe it is a Wampa mixed with the Fly from Jeff Goldblum's The Fly. It's a big beast, and you don't wrestle with this guy. He wins every time. So whenever both Brocheet and Kak have to come up against the Dweller, they're like rag dolls being tossed around.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. Sounds like a very, very good challenge then. Now will you yourself be appearing in Alien Planet on screen?
There may be a small cameo. I haven't quite specifically thought about it yet, but it's such a huge movie to do on such a small budget. We're actually doing very well on crowdfunding. We are currently at as of now, 36,000, and we're shooting for a stretch goal of 50,000. But as most people know, that is still extremely small for a movie. So with that type of a budget and this grand of a movie, I'm really focusing on directing it, because no one knows the movie like I do. I wrote it. I've spent, over a year now just perfecting it. And I cannot take myself away from behind the camera in order to be on it. I have to make sure that it's shot right and well. And so I will be taking a back seat as an actor.
Mm.
All right. But in addition to being an actor and a director and a writer, you're also an editor. So I'm not an editor. I actually know nothing about editing, but as best I can, I want to try to ask a question, though, which, again, may not even make sense given the fact that I know nothing about it. But in action movies, movies with action, there tends to be like quite a variety of styles of editing action. I mean, at one extreme, you might have like the camera just like pulled back. You see the actors head to toe, and the camera's not even moving. You just see the actors do what they're doing. But at the other extreme, you might have the camera zoomed in, like these zoomed in close-ups, and just rapid fire edits one after the other, where it's all a bit of a blur. And then of course there's a lot of different styles in between. So I'm just curious what sort of style of editing action you prefer.
This film will be a medium pace. It depends on the scene. Each scene requires different pacing for editing, and action scenes get quicker, faster cuts, and it's for excitement, adrenaline, but also sometimes it's to hide or to make certain effects work correctly. So if you're doing a fight scene, like let's use the trailer for example, there's the scene where the Dweller is attacking them. That has the most quick and the most amount of cuts in the whole trailer, because it is a matter of showing that they're being attacked by something and then coming together to overcome the monster. Whereas if you look at the opening sequence where it's the wide shot of them and they're looking at each other ready to fight and the tension's building, and then there's a slow push on one's close-up, slow push on the other one's close-up. That whole opening scene is probably the slowest pacing moment in the trailer, because it's establishing not only the characters, but it's establishing their growing tension. And you subconsciously feel their hatred building. Oh, okay, they're at a standoff. Okay, wow, they're snarling. They're mad dogging each other. They're mean mugging each other. And then once we get into it and you're at the moment where the Dweller's attacking, it's like boom, boom, fall, get up, go, gunshot, blast, blood. So it's just a matter of the particular moment of the scene. And I think the movie will be exactly the same. Depending on what's required to deliver the right emotion is how I'll edit each scene. And so I come to the conclusion of medium pace by saying it'll meet in the middle. There'll be some moments where it's a nice flow and you're feeling it. And then there'll be some moments where you start to sit up and you're like, oh, blood. Yes, that's it. And then it'll go back to more of, oh, wow. Oh, no. And so it's going to give you a roller coaster of editing style for sure.
Oh, yeah. And you mentioned blood. So you've been in a number of horror films. So will there be scary and bloody moments in this movie?
Absolutely. I tried to do as much blood as I could in the trailer. We shot the whole trailer in 12 hours. So one day. So that was very fast. Because the movie will have more days, multiple days, we'll have a lot more time to do blood effects with everything. And also there's stuff in the script that I don't want to spoil for you, but people are going to lose limbs. There's going to be blood. There's going to be intestines being eaten out. There'll be a lot of gore for sure.
Oh, yeah. And then part of the trailer is filmed outdoors. I was just curious, like given the fact that this is sort of like in a science fiction tradition and you name a number of influences and you are, I take it, based in LA, will you use any of the like famous location shots from science fiction? Like one of my favorites is like the Gorn episode of Star Trek.
The Vasquez?
Oh, yeah.
I actually am intentionally not using Vasquez because it is so iconic. Every time I personally see it in a movie, I go, "There's Vasquez rocks." So I want to make it escape from Earth. I don't want anyone to, in the middle of the movie, come back to reality. I want everyone to enjoy the hour and a half, 2 hours until it's done, and then they can think about Earth again. So I do have some surprise locations picked out, stuff that looks beautiful and unearthly, but Vasquez is definitely not on the list just for that simple, every sci-fi fan knows it.
Sounds like a good approach too. It's like, yeah, if you want it to be alien, like don't, don't have an Arby's in the background.
Well, the reason why I think Vasquez worked so well for the Gorn is because that was, brand new science fiction when we saw that episode. And so unless you lived in California, you truly did think, where is that? That rock goes on a sideways. Like, what? And whereas now, I think with just the internet and travel and so many TV shows and movies have filmed there, I think now it's just it's a lot more recognizable.
Right. Now talking about your Indiegogo campaign for Alien Planet, there's a number of perks available for people that contribute, and one perk in particular caught our eye, which is the Ghidorah Wallbreaker autographed. And on this one, and G Forever has it, actually is a proud owner of one himself. But we're curious, so why did you pick, I think this is a wonderful choice, by the way.
Yes.
It's a wonderful choice because it's just a wonderful item. But also, I was surprised to see it because it's actually very rare and elusive. Like for a long time, I wasn't sure if it was ever made, because for years, there was like one promotional photo I saw of it online, and that was it. No one was actually selling it. But finally, after years of looking, we actually found it. And so
tracked it down.
So we're curious. So why did you pick this particular Ghidorah item as a perk? And also a little curious, how did you manage to find it?
Well, I have my secret ways. I've had it for quite some time now, actually. Probably maybe close to a year now I've had it.
Oh.
So I've had it in my possession already. But I chose it because it is so awesome and it is so unique. And I chose it because, especially if you get it autographed, which whoever gets this perk will, displaying that is great. It's like a lot of people have posters that are autographed. A lot of people have action figures autographed, but not many people have a wall breaker that's autographed. And the cool thing about this perk is actually Jason and Richard both agreed that when the time comes for me to get that autograph, I can either Skype them with whoever purchases this, or if scheduling does not work out for the backer, I can film it and send it to them. So they'll actually get video of us autographing it and saying hi, thank you, and it's just a cool little momentum, to a keepsake for Godzilla fans.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful. So yeah, I highly recommend.
Beautiful art piece.
Oh yeah. I highly recommend that perk to everyone out there. Get them, to get themselves.
There's only one, so whoever gets it.
Yeah.
Get them. Yeah. So act fast to get your autographed Ghidorah Wallbreaker. All right. Now, G Forever also wanted to ask you a bit about Ghidorah, if he may.
But before you ask, I have to ask you.
Okay.
How long did it take to collect all of the items on that table?
Just the Ghidorahs?
Yep.
I think just within the past year or two. Like since the movie, like King of the Monsters till now. They're still making stuff. I think I have the bigger version of this guy. This is the Art Spirits King Ghidorah 2019 coming.
When you got the big boy coming, huh?
Yeah, and Spiral Studios. I don't know if you've seen that one. I bit the bullet out, but yeah, that one's coming with the whole Boston base and everything. I have no idea where to put it, but I can't wait to see that. Yeah.
So what in your collection do you not have?
Oh boy, I'm actually on the search for a 1-to-1 scale oxygen destroyer, the model kit. I almost had it, but then it looks like somebody snatched it right as when I was chasing after it. A couple of the huge Shin Godzillas. I have one that's just put off to the side right now, the purple one with the split mouth. But there's like the regular red one, and there's like a roaring one that people love. So that one looks pretty cool. But yeah, there's still a lot of stuff out there. I mean, I've done mostly Bandai's since I was in middle school. So I started off as 4 years old, and just trying to save every penny I could, and then just put it towards the collection since. And middle school is when I first got my part-time job, and it just cranked out. That's when all the Bandai's came in. There's a little pause for a while, and then now X Plus and all these monster arts, and they're just stealing everything that you try to that you try to make. But they make good stuff. It's all really cool stuff. So
it's all super great sculpts. I love they're beautiful figures. Absolutely.
They are. Yeah, so it's beautiful. So it's really cool. So with the classic Godzilla films being mostly man in suit, I was very glad to see that the CGI for the MonsterVerse films incorporated motion capture actors to capture the movements for the animation, which is pretty much the modern day man in suit style. And then I feel like your performance as King Ghidorah was truly amazing and really brought this kaiju to life and really respected our favorite three-headed villain. So super happy to have you here on Luminous News.
Thank you. That means a lot to all three of us to hear that, because when we first booked this job, Jason, Richard, and I, we knew how important this character was to the family. And I've said it before in many interviews, but I did my homework. And even though performing motion capture is very different than the Ghidorah, because Ghidorah is not just a man in a suit. It's strings for the heads.
Then the wings and the tails.
Yep. So it's like puppetry man in suit combo. So the performance is very different, but my homework was still important because I still needed to know what about him makes him him, so that it doesn't change.
Yep. Excellent. And I think you kind of just touched upon my next upcoming question. So I was going to ask if you've seen King Ghidorah's past films or know about the character prior to working on the film. So it looks like you did your homework. Do you have like a specific movie that you studied more or was your favorite?
I wouldn't say that I studied more, but the movie itself, and not just King Ghidorah, my favorite one with him in it is probably Astro. That's okay. It's just it's so fun to watch that movie. The movie itself is so good.
Yep, on Planet X with the with Nick Adams and Rodan and Godzilla. Yep. Very cool. Very cool.
A cool tidbit. You're talking about the man in suit. When I first met with Mike, he told me he was interested in me because he saw my creature reel, and he wanted a suit performer for practical suits. And in my head, I was like, "Oh, really? You're doing this practical?" And he goes, "No. But I want someone who does it." And I was like, "What does he want?" And I was so intrigued. And it turned out what he wanted. I didn't, he was very vague until I booked the job, obviously. Okay. But he said he wanted suit performers at the heart of the motion capture. Awesome. And I thought that was such a wise choice, because there is a difference between suit performers and motion capture. And I think the heart of it makes a difference. And both Richard and Jason also have done practical. The three of us have done mocap and practical. So I think really the three of us, we could not have chose the best
choice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Excellent. I feel like you're predicting all my questions here. I guess a little bit touch upon that. Can you tell us what was your reaction when you got the King Ghidorah role? And I guess did you know you were only performing the single head, or was that a surprise?
We knew, and just to be clear for anyone who might not know, it's we performed the whole body. So when we did this, if you watch the Creating
Yep.
Ghidorah behind the scenes, you
Yep.
see every stunt and fight scene that you see on screen, we performed live. We were dedicated to the heads based on our reaction and our personality. And I'd mentioned it before. I was the angry,
Yep.
Jason was alpha, Richard was curious. And it was so smart of Michael to give us personalities. So smart. And there's that funny meme that everyone has with
Yep.
Kevin.
Yep.
And if you guys look on my Instagram, I did a comparison top and bottom of us in the mocap suits with it. And we make those faces. Like it's not just an over exaggerated cartoon meme. Like we genuinely were making those faces long before the world
The
even
meme came out.
And so it's so wonderful how it was decided and put together. And I don't even know if that deterred from your question.
No. It's perfect. Yeah. And we all know that Michael Dougherty is also a huge Godzilla fan, and this was his dream project. So it seemed
Yes.
like it was like a really blast to work with him. And as you mentioned, I watched the behind the scene footage on the Blu-ray disc. I think you actually answered this. Like Mike did assign the heads, and I think based on the personalities, or were you able to pick your own head?
He assigned it to us. It was interesting because when I first met with him before I booked the job, it was kind of our interview. He told me, he's like, I want everybody to have different personalities. We're going to have an angry, an alpha, and a curious.
Okay.
He never told me during that interview which head he was eyeballing for me, but I kind of knew it based on my creature acting reel. I was like, yeah, he wants me for the angry one because if you watch it, like all of my monsters are very just ripping people to shreds.
Yeah.
And I knew it. I was like, yeah, that's totally what he wants. And it was right. It worked.
Awesome. So as motion capture actors, were there like certain actions or scenes in the movie that were like your own suggestions to Michael Dougherty that he liked and included in the film, or was he very strict on like how Ghidorah acted and like you had to do it a certain way?
Kind of both. So our performance, as our personalities, was mostly on us. He told us how we thought, how we felt, and we interacted with each other. So when Jason would look at me, I would react to him however felt natural based on our perceived relationship as brothers. But then the other side of it is things like the fighting, the stunts, the actual act of battling and smashing buildings and whatnot was very scripted. It was plotted out, and it was very specific stuff because, as you saw in the movie, it all actually has to do with the plot to move it forward. And so there was not deterring from that, from what we did as a story, but our personalities and how we reacted to each other, we had a lot more wiggle room. But it was very easy to decide because of the scenario and the scenes that Mike had chosen. It was very easy to do.
Yeah, so it's very natural, is what you're saying. Very cool.
Absolutely. And Mike you're right about him being a fan. It was amazing to watch him because he knew the franchise.
Yeah.
Like it's what we all wish for all of our favorite franchises is we want directors that love that franchise the way he. And I think that's something that we all wish for all of our movies, and they got lucky and he got lucky, and it was just perfect choice.
It was, it was a perfect match made in heaven.
Yeah. Great.
So during production, the Ghidorah heads, I think, were given the names Ichini-san, which is the equivalent of 1, 2, and 3 in Japanese. And so like, there was a nickname Kevin, as you mentioned earlier. Did the other two heads have nicknames, or just you mentioned it was like Alpha curious, and angry.
Yeah. In fact, we weren't told about Ichini and Kevin until the rest of the world was.
Oh,
I think he made it kind of a joke, I think,
okay.
in some sort of interview. I don't recall where it came from, but on
Okay.
set, we were just angry, alpha, and curious. And actually, we had little pieces of tape on our mocap suits that were written. Mine says angry, and it had a little, angry face with eyebrows pointed down. And so that's what he referred to us as, or right, left, and center. And that's how it was. Or he just said Alan, Richard, or Jason.
Yep. Okay, that's pretty cool. What were your favorite moments when battling with TJ?
Well, mine was particularly, there's a shot you see in the Creating Ghidorah behind the scenes we keep bringing up, where I get my head smashed into a building.
Yeah.
We know that building well.
And
we're actually in Boston.
Yeah, we're in Boston, so we know that.
Awesome.
Yeah, we know the building well. It was particular. So it was particularly fun to see. To see Ghidorah go through it.
That was a fun moment because it got to feature my head doing a cool action. Almost every scene, the three of us do our actions together, and it's unison, and we are a team. That particular moment, the right head really got picked on. And so it was fun. I got to stand out for a moment and get my head smashed in. But the whole thing was great. I don't know if I could truly say one moment is better than the other. I just loved being able to fall and fly and wrestle and play with the kaiju guys on set. It was just super fun.
Yeah, I can't imagine. This must have been so fun on set. So on the US Blu-ray disc, there weren't any deleted scenes with King Ghidorah. Were there any motion capture scenes that you recall doing that you wish that made it into the final film?
If there were, I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, because we filmed it like about, I think it was 3 years ago now. So it's been a while. I don't think so. I think they used all the scenes that we filmed.
Oh, wow.
I could be wrong, but I think we used them all.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Well, you guys did great. So I can't say why they wouldn't.
Thank you.
And so as of today, IMDb has not listed any motion capture actors for Godzilla vs. Kong, and we saw multiple serpent-like monsters in the trailer called Warbat. May we ask if either of you guys are involved in this film at all?
I can speak for myself. I am not involved in Godzilla vs. Kong.
Okay.
As for the others, I am unaware. So I guess time will tell.
I guess so. All right. And I guess finally, if the MonsterVerse continues after Godzilla vs. Kong, which classic Toho monsters would you like to see and play if given the opportunity? I personally want to see Gigan, Biolantia, Destroyer return. So,
for professional reasons, I want Mecha Ghidorah so that I can.
There you go.
Mecha Ghidorah would be awesome. I would love to reunite with Jason and Richard. We have become truly like brothers in real life, and we text all the time and we harass each other. So I would love nothing more than to bring Ghidorah back with the three of us. That would be so awesome.
Excellent.
But on a non-Ghidorah note, Megalon is one of my favorites. I would love to see Megalon.
Nice.
And I would actually love to play him. I think that would be freaking sweet.
That would be.
Oh yeah, he's a favorite. Oh yeah, he's a favorite of mine as well.
Yeah.
He's just like a big cockroach with a metal hand. It's awesome.
Yeah, the drills, and then there's that star horn on his head.
And that movie is the most ridiculous. That kid in the whirlpool with the paddle boat shaped like a dolphin.
Dolphins, yeah.
What? It's ridiculous. It's amazing.
If you remember the Godzilla, what's it called? Like the floating tail scene, the sliding tail scene with the drop kick.
Yep.
Yeah, so Godzilla defines gravity and all sciences.
No, wonderful.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
well, let's thank Alan Maxson for joining us here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been an honor. Thank you for having me, and genuinely, like, I appreciate chatting with you guys. I appreciate promoting Alien Planet, and I appreciate this amazing collection that you've set up on this table. I feel like so honored that you went and displayed this just for this recording, because
Yes, I had to make it special. Like, this is so cool to have you on here with us. So I had to grab every Ghidorah 2019 in particular.
oh, well, I will come back anytime you guys want. So just let me know.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, wonderful. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
So yeah, thank you, Alan, and all the viewers out there for joining us for this special episode on Luminous News. We would like to ask you to help contribute to Alan's indie film, Alien Planet, by clicking the link below. There are many perks available. If you can't contribute financially, please share the link to this project, as it would mean a lot to our King Ghidorah friend.
Absolutely. This is Heisenberg.
And G Forever, and we're all looking forward to Alien Planet.